Hello and welcome to Wingin It. And once more, we are back here with another tournament game. This one is from the Zany Zebrafinch Zoo, so we've got Oceania in play here today. And yeah, we're in game 3 of our knockout round match here. So the equation is pretty simple. We've got to win, and we go through into the last 8. So getting very close towards the end of this tournament, but lose, and we are knocked out. So we're definitely going to try and get our win here. And we're going first in this game. So yeah, let's jump in. Let's see what we have got to work with in our starting hand. And okay, we have got some brown power options here, but nothing too amazing. No amazing card draw in the tray either, which definitely can be a little bit of a struggle in these Oceania games. However, we do have Rotologist, and there's already a couple in my hand, so I was already kind of looking at this brown falcon as a good play. Seems like a pretty solid hunting power, a pretty good chance of success there. And the burrowing owl, nothing really too flashy, but I think when you've got Rheumatologist, this can potentially help for at least one of these end of rounds and just get something going in the grasslands. It's always important, I think, in Oceania to get that first grassland bird down so you start getting some extra eggs. Feels like a pretty solid keep. And we do, of course, have the goshawk in the train now. I'm going first here, so potentially I could be picking that up, but it's not normally a bird you see someone grab straight away. So I'm definitely sort of thinking here potential to play the falcon in the wetlands, start drawing cards. Goshawk, as I say, could be a pretty easy grab. Yeah, we could be going very heavy on the Rodentologist bonus card here. It does feel like some of those really good Oceania games you see are just all about the bonus card, getting good synergy there, scoring lots of points off those and playing big point birds, of course, while you're at it. So yeah, I can sort of see a good plan here where maybe with this cards in hand end of round, I can just play the falcon, start drawing. You know, maybe I play the goshawk this round, or maybe I save it, because if I keep the cards in hand and try and win this end of round, I can then obviously use those in round 2 to play the goshawk and kind of see where I go from there. So yeah, that's what the keep has been, just the 2 rodent birds. And like I say, do a bit of digging, see what other rodent birds we can find, maybe a few others to go with this. And alright, here we go, on to our first turn. We'll see our opponent kept a couple of birds there for food, so we'll see what they're going to do. But for now, as I say, we're just going to go ahead and get this brown falcon down. So there is a little bit of thinking to do here in terms of, do I spend the food for it? Do I spend the nectar? I can kind of see both sides of this. I think maybe sometimes you want to keep the nectar as an idea of, using that on some bird that you might draw, because you don't know what food you're going to need for some of these other birds that you are drawing. But at the same time, my round might just be drawing cards for 7 turns, maybe the occasional egg laying, but I'm certainly going to try and draw aggressively here. Target this end of round, knowing full well, as I said, with the goshawk, but even just in general, I think in Oceania there's always ways of turning extra cards into more food, into more eggs. So yeah, having that extra card draw early, just letting you see more birds and get yourself more options. Like I say, definitely not a bad thing. So opponent plays a nice forest bird, but they've left these options in the tray, so we are going to pick up the goshawk, and we're also considering this avocet here. Now, not really one that I would look to get down super early, but it is potentially one where if I've got the burrowing owl down, I've got lots of egg space there. I've not got an egg source at the moment, so could be something to look at. Having done that, we do reveal Laughing Kookaburra, which I think ordinarily is a very, very good bird. That brown power, you reset the bird feeder, you can get yourself a fish, a worm, or a rat if there is one. And yeah, I think that works perfectly here with the Rodentologist as well. So we're just going to go ahead, draw. And this time we do get a hunt on the falcon. So we missed on that first go, but starting to get some points there. And yeah, Kookaburra, it's flexible in terms of its habitat. So I'm sort of thinking here, we could get this down in the wetlands. And we could just keep drawing. We can, use the Kookaburra to get some more food. It's very flexible on what food it can get you. It's not nectar, so there is a bit of a drawback there. Does feel like in Oceania you kind of want to go for as much nectar as you possibly can. But it would still be useful. It's going to be potentially getting some rats, which might help play more of these Rodentologist birds. And yeah, otherwise, just try and get a little bit more food so that we can hopefully get some additional birds down. So yeah, opponents drawing, they've not played their wetland birds, so I think here they are just discarding extra nectar to see more cards. So we'll see how that plays out for them. And yeah, we have a bit of a dilemma here. As I talked about, you don't really want to be laying eggs before you've played your first grasshopper, because it means you only get one, unless you're willing to discard something. Now, we do here think about, are we going to get rid of a card? Are we going to get rid of this cormorant here to maybe get ourselves a second egg? And you can see I very nearly went through with it. But in the back of my mind, I was thinking, I've already got quite a lot of platform nests here. And many of the rodentologist birds also have platform nests. So this could potentially be one later on in the game to consider playing. And yeah, if it's going to eat the fish and the worms that the kookaburra is going to get me, potentially some synergy there as well. So in the end, we throw away the seed, you know, just to, as I say, get that second egg. Looking back, I probably should have got rid of the Abiath here. I think, you know, was still kind of wishful thinking maybe that could go down, but I think it is always going to be quite an expensive one. And yeah, maybe not exactly the kind of bird that I am looking for in this situation. But yeah, we got rid of it. The seed there, we got the kookaburra down. So yeah, strong wetlands. You know, we're seeing cards, we're gaining food, and we're maybe getting some points here on the tuck cards. So this definitely works well, as I said. With the send around, opponent is still drawing as well though, so we're going to have our work cut out potentially there. But yeah, I think these last 3 turns are going to be super easy for me. We're going to start yeah, drawing cards and getting a bit of food. Bird like the black noddy is definitely welcome. So big point bird, 9 points, and a decent brown power as well there. You're resetting the bird feeder, and then you're gaining fish and then turning those potentially into tuck cards. So yeah, strong big point bird, strong point scorer as well. So yeah, we are going to grab ourselves a fish on that kookaburra activation and maybe aspire to playing that black noddy a little bit later in this game. But as I say, for now, I think it is going to be pretty easy to just keep drawing cards. I know that I'm going to need a couple to feed that goshawk, as I've talked about, and potentially some extra ones. You know, they might get turned into eggs, they might get turned into food as this game goes on. So I definitely will need more eggs and more food. I think cards are certainly not going to be in short supply. So yeah, this game going pretty well so far. Definitely targeting the rodentologist. Of course, already got 2 down, 2 more in my hand as well. Really, at this point, I'm sort of trying to work out what my opponent's plan is. You know, they've been drawing cards, they've not played a wetland bird yet, so we'll see what they can find and what they can go with there. We're just going to keep drawing, and we're just going to keep finding more rodentologist birds. So yeah, black-shouldered kite comes up. This is a really, really interesting power in Oceania. So you're resetting the bird feeder, and you're gaining a rat if there is one. And you can either keep that rat, or if you give it to someone else, you get 3 eggs on the kite. So yeah, definitely very different power, not like any I've seen in the game before. And potentially, you know, potentially a way of getting more rats if I want to be playing more rodent birds, but also a way of getting more eggs. And yeah, potentially 3 on a single turn. So that'll be one to keep an eye out for. If I do need extra eggs, which I'm probably going to need them at some point in order to play more birds, that could be a great way of getting a bunch of eggs in one single turn. So yeah, we will certainly think about that. Opponent finally plays their wetland bird, they get the green heron down, so might be a way of them getting some more nectar as they draw cards. But for me, it put me in a strong position because it meant I knew I could win this end around, just had to draw cards here. And yeah, we get another fish from the kookaburra. So as I say, definitely looking at this noddy, definitely thinking, okay, how can I try and get this down next round? Maybe I spend another turn drawing cards. Maybe I play the goshawk and take food. I've got options available to me, so some of it will come down to just waiting and seeing on the tray, just assessing in that early round 2. But for sure, you know, I've got plenty of cards here that I want to play, but also plenty of cards that I probably don't. So I think playing this goshawk early, getting a bit more food, getting some of these birds down, and really building out this wetlands engine, because I think it has started well, but I definitely would like to see a little bit more development there. So yeah, easily win the end of round goal. And yeah, we come here into round 2, and it's a pretty interesting tray, pretty nice tray for my opponent, gotta say. Violet green swallow. These tucking birds, always good. They were good on the baseboards, they're good here as well in Oceania. And also, the Kiwi bonus card bird is a very, very strong, good way of turning maybe a not so good bonus card into something better. And yeah, they cleared those 2 birds, so didn't give me a chance to get them. And I was certainly less interested in what came up. So goshawk's going down. And yeah, I think the plan here, as I say, is to take food. And hopefully I can get the food for the noddy. Certainly the feeder's looking good. But I'm also thinking about, okay, what's the next play after that? You know, could I play this burrowing owl maybe? Could I play this kite? Maybe if I'm going to go for that sister cola in the tray, there could be a nice double play option, especially looking ahead to that third end of Ralgol, get some more cup nests down. Could be a strong one. So there's plenty of options, plenty of sort of things to work through here. And sometimes getting the right food now can save you that little bit of time later, because I'm quite restricted on what I get from the kookaburra. So if I can get some more nectar, get myself a little bit of flexibility when I am gaining food, that is going to be strong. So yeah, we do get ourselves one nectar there. I think the plan here probably is to use the fish on the noddy and, like I say, keep that nectar, and maybe use that on the kite, maybe use that on the burrowing owl. We'll kind of wait and see, and go from there. So certainly this end of round's not really what I'm looking too closely at. I think any time the beak's pointing in a certain direction come up, it's a bit of a distraction to try and go for that. I'd rather just sort of play the birds that work for me, for my strategy, my bonus cards, whatever it is. And if they hit this end of round goal, it's a bonus. But I'm not going to play a bird with a beak pointing right just because it's going to help for this end of round goal. So yeah, my opponent's looking pretty handy in that one. We've got one bird, so as long as I'm qualifying, for me, that's the main thing. That's going to get points on the board for sure. And yeah, 30 points are already on the board, so it's looking strong. Already 6 points on the bonus card, and I know there's potential for more here with the existing birds in hand. So yeah, opponents gaining food. They've got a really strong forest, so they might get the nectar sewn up. Certainly looking strong already in that regard. But we've got some big plays to come. So Black Noddy, it is going to go down here. So yeah, 9-point bird, and like I said, pretty strong brown power. So we'll have the choice there again. Resetting this feeder, and we're gaining fish, so maybe if we've got some birds that we want to play that eat fish, looking at this cormorant as potentially an example, we could choose to keep that, but I think in most cases here I will be looking at discarding it and taking the tuck points, because yeah, it's just going to really help with the point scoring part of this engine. And I think the kookaburra is pretty reliable in terms of getting the food I want. It should be good enough to, like I say, get the fish, the worms and the rats, which is kind of most of the food that I'm looking for, to start playing these birds. And maybe at some point in a future turn, in a future round, we might take food one more time, get a bit of nectar. But I'm just going to play that by ear. Not really plan too much around that, and really just focus on this engine. So there we go. Valerian Swallow does go down for my opponent. Get that down in the grasslands. It's another beak pointing right. So they've started to build something out there. And yeah, first activation on the noddy. Very, very nice. 2 fish coming up. And yeah, we are going to go ahead, discard both of those 2 fish, and get ourselves a couple of tucks on the noddy. So very, very nice. Kookaburra also hits. We get a rat, which is great because we've got loads of these rodentologist birds. Brown Falcon misses, so you can't have it all. But a pretty solid turn, all in all there. And yeah, we've got the Sister Cola, so definitely thinking here about double play. Of course, the Sister Cola is one of these Oceania double birds where you get to save an egg when you double play. So even here, when I've got no eggs, I can still do that double play. And I think here, just being able to push out that extra column, I can start discarding cards for more eggs. And that is crucial because if I keep running this Wetlands engine, I'm going to have way too many cards. I've not really got any great way of using them. If I could find something like a Chiff Chaff or a Mute Swan or a Main Duck, that would be great, but I'm certainly not banking on it. I would definitely expect that most of the cards, if they're not getting played, they are going to get discarded here for eggs. So we are going to open up here with this double play into the Black-Shouldered Kite. So yeah, this is definitely a temperamental bird. It's definitely one of those birds where you can't rely on it super heavily because, of course, you're resetting the feeder. You're looking for rats and they don't always come up. But, of course, on those turns when they do come up, if I can give that to my opponent, get myself 3 eggs on there, that is huge. And that's just really going to help get more of these birds down. And that is definitely going to be the focus. So, yeah, we have 2 turns left in this round. We are probably going to lay eggs on one of those 2 turns. But otherwise, just keep drawing and, like I say, let this engine run. Let the Noddy and the Falcon try and get some points. And let the Kookaburra try and get a bit more food. Because, yeah, at the moment, still got a couple of birds I would like to play. Still got the Burrowing Owl. I think that would be good for the next end of round. Maybe a bit more egg space if I do need it at some point. Of course, hitting Rodentologists as well kind of goes without saying. And we do still have that Cormorant, and I think the more of these birds that I am playing that have the platform nest. It's almost going to be every single bird, you know, just that kookaburra that doesn't have it. Everything else at the moment that I've either played or that I'm planning on playing is going to have that nest type. So yeah, that could be very, very strong. And of course, the earlier you play that, you know, you're clearing out the egg space on the kite so you can use it again. You're unlocking more card access. So even if it's not got a strong brown power that you look to rely on, it's still useful and good to, yeah, try and get down at some point. But for now, as I say, we are going to go ahead, lay eggs. We're going to discard a spare card to get some more eggs. We're going to use the kite and we're going to hit. We're going to get our rodents. So yeah, very, very nice. Very happy to see that succeed right away. And yeah, we have a bit of a choice here. Do we keep the rat? Do we get rid of it for 3 eggs? I think you get rid of it for the 3 eggs here. It's just so strong. And that was a 6-point turn, so not a flashy grasslands. But to get 6 points from it on that single turn, and like I say, just all of these extra eggs that are really going to help out for playing more birds. Definitely what I wanted to see. So yeah, we're looking good. We've got a lot of points on the board. And it's all just about continuing this on, building this out. Like I say, keep drawing because there are plenty of other nice rodent-eating birds in there, even if they're not engine-building birds. Some nice big point bombs to play later on in this game. That's definitely going to be what I am looking for. So yeah, all coming together pretty well. And got to say, my opponent, they're not doing too shabbily either. They got plenty of food going on. They've got a really good food production. They're spending lots of nectar. And if they can just build out this grasslands a little bit more, they are going to start to give me something to worry about. Because at the moment, Violet Green Swallow on its own, not the strongest of grasslands. But yeah, if they can just add something else to there, maybe some more point scorers, really build that through. And they're doing well, certainly on this end of round. And I think they're going to be doing well on the next one as well. So we'll have something to watch out for there. But I think as long as we can, keep drawing well, and finding some more nice big point rodent birds, that is definitely going to be playing into our hands. So yeah, we come here onto our next turn. There we go, grey catbird going down, exactly the kind of engine bird you want to be playing next to your tucking powers. We're going to keep drawing. We're going to find Plains Wanderer, which I think is a pretty solid bird. Certainly if you're building out this grasslands, get yourself more bonus cards, so it could be a very, very nice option. Black Noddy missed that time. It's not going to hit every single time. That's just kind of the nature of it. But Kookaburra is going to give us a choice. So fish or worms. I'm sort of looking at this osprey and thinking that could be a play. That could be a potential option. But maybe not really wanted to give the food to my opponent. Falcon hits as well. Unfortunately, the owl maybe would have been one I'd like to have in my hand, but we'll still take the point nonetheless. And we will also take an Eastern Imperial Eagle in the round 3 trade for us. Very, very nice. Really kind of the perfect bird in this position because it, obviously hits the bonus card and we can spend the extra cards that we're drawing on those, which is really, really strong. Noddy continuing its good work as well, so this time hitting 2 again. So yeah, we are going to keep discarding those for the points, and Kookaburra gives us a full complement in the feeder to choose from. So yeah, this is where I'm sort of trying to work out. I'm looking at the birds in my hand and thinking, okay, this end of round goal, maybe you want to try and get the star nest down. Maybe do still look at this osprey as an option. So could go for the fish there. And yeah, of course, Eastern Imperial Eagle could easily play that with some of these extra cards. So it's just about working out, okay, which food do I want? And some of it as well, I think with the Kookaburra, it comes down to how likely is that food to come up. So you see, I was looking at the worms there, but you're way more likely to reroll a worm than you are a rat. So I think when the rat is there, you've got to take it and sort of just assume that if you are looking for worms later, they'll come up. They're more likely to come up again. But yeah, I know I'm going to need some more rats in order to play the birds in my hands. So good to grab those now, and then definitely burrowing out can be one we look at playing. So opponents resetting the tray there, and they reveal the Chiff Chaff, which I definitely wouldn't say no to. But I think, unfortunately, my opponent switched on enough. They will know just how good of a bird that Chiff Chaff is going to be for me in this position. Already got some spare cards in my hand and just really, really builds out the point scoring in this wetlands. Of course, turning even more of these cards into points. So they block that. They reveal a bush tip for me, which, again, I don't mind. I don't mind that at all. That's a good way of scoring and, turning these additional cards that I've got into points through the tuck and the eggs. So we will pick it up and maybe consider playing it later. Noddy's going to hit, but like I say, it already hit 4 times. So yeah, definitely take that. And we'll take another worm off this kookaburra. So like I say, you're not going to get rats every time. So definitely glad I took the rat previously. And yeah, give ourselves a worm to work with here. And yeah, we've got plenty of options to consider. So like I say, with this end of round goal, sort of thinking, you know, could get the burrowing owl down, could even get this bush tip. It's going to work for that as well. And I think really the key is going to be clearing out this black-shouldered kite space, because I want to be using that as much as possible. And on the off chance it does hit, I want to be making sure I can give that away to my opponent and get the 3 eggs on the kite. So yeah, we'll kind of wait and see on that and plan around that. But we're definitely getting to that stage of the game now as we sort of come into the end of round 3. This is where you really want to be thinking about what is the end game. You know, the birds in your hand, which ones are you going to play? Which ones maybe you're not going to play? For sure, if you're going with something like this Eastern Imperial Eagle, you know, you've got to get rid of 3 cards on that. So yeah, that's going to definitely make your mind up a little bit in terms of keep and play, or you know, discard or tuck under the eagle. But we've only got so many spaces to work with in this grasslands as well. So you know, if I'm thinking about the Eastern Imperial Eagle, if I'm thinking about the burrowing owl, if I'm thinking about the Plains Wanderer, that's all the spots available in my grasslands gone. So I definitely need to prioritize. I definitely need to work out, okay, which ones of these are must plays and which ones can I maybe hold off on and see, because I'm definitely going to be drawing a few more times in this game, and something else good might come up as well, just to give me more options to choose from. So we do go ahead and play the burrowing owl. I think that is a good play in this position. Just, you know, all round hits a lot of things. So hits the bonus card, of course. Rheumatologist really targeting that this game. Hits this end of round goal, which might come into play. It might give us something additional to work with. But this is the point where I'm definitely thinking that the Little Pie Cormorant is going to be a strong play for me here. So I think anytime you have these yellow game-in powers, especially the ones that lay eggs, it's not always obvious when you pick them up whether they're going to be a good play for you or not. So I do try and hold off on those, why I kept it earlier in the game. But this is definitely the point of the game where I'm looking and I'm counting, I'm thinking, I've got loads and loads of these platform nests down. If I'm going to play the eagle, that's another one. I could be potentially getting 7, 8, 9, even 10 eggs from this kind of power at the end of the game, and that's just so strong. So yeah, definitely an option for us to consider. But for now, as I say, focus on the birds that you know are always going to be good, and Eastern Imperial Eagle is most certainly one of those. So we've got plenty of spare cards. We can get rid of some of these that we're never going to play, get the eagle down, and start clearing out this black-shouldered kite egg space. So we're looking good. We've got the grasses built out. Even if we haven't got loads and loads of really strong brown powers, just by having enough birds there, of course, some of these extra cards we can still discard, get the extra eggs. Maybe burrowing owl will get a hit, but it's not why it's been played. And then yeah, we've still got the black-shouldered kite as well to come and potentially get even more eggs coming through. So yeah, we've got options. We've got options to work with, and hopefully, as I say, when we do legs, we get the extra eggs, but it's still a strong grasses nonetheless. And I'm definitely sort of trying to work out at this point, okay, which final birds are going to be played, which order. You know, I'd really like to play this Plains Wanderer. I think any time you can look at 5 bonus cards and pick the best one, it's just such a strong position. You know, Falconer would be amazing for me here. Most of these rodent birds I'm playing are going to hit the Falconer as well. So yeah, we've got plenty of points options for something like that. Even Prairie Manager, you know, we'd already maxed that out. So that would be a good one. Platform Builder kind of goes without saying if we're looking at playing this Cormorant, but we've got plenty of those nest types down. So yeah, as soon as you can, you know, start going through the list of bonus cards and you can really think about many strong bonus cards that would work for you, I think playing a bird like Plains Wanderer is normally a good shout. So we are going to legs. We're going to get rid of the bush tit. So yeah, I definitely was thinking about playing it, but it sort of got to the point where it was going to be a little bit too late. But fortunately for us here, laying eggs, Black-shouldered kite is hitting again, so we're getting another rat. And I'm definitely thinking twice here about whether I do keep it or not. I think if I'd had more rodent birds in my hand, I might have been more inclined to actually keep this here, and then maybe lay eggs again and see if I could get it to hit and use the eggs that time round. But the only one I've got is the loghead shrike, and I think as good as that might be, even with Rodentologist, I don't think there is going to be space for it here in my game plan. So yeah, we'll take the eggs. And, you know, the plan here for sure is going to be to try and play more birds, clear out the kite space. And I think as long as we can plan our turns and sort of alternate as much as we can between drawing cards or playing birds and then laying eggs when we've got space on the kite, that is going to help us out a lot. So opponent plays Grackle there just after we laid eggs and sort of got into a position where maybe we could think about tying it around. Yeah, they're going to win that. So definitely a shame, but it is what it is. I still think playing something like the burrowing out, even if it couldn't help on this end of round goal, was going to be strong for all the reasons we talked about earlier. And yeah, 81 points already. I'm definitely feeling in a good position here. And I'm trying to work out, okay, is this the time where I take food? Because if I'm going to play in this Planeswalker that needs a seed, can't get that off the Kookaburra, so might have to do some forcing and might not have enough food to do all of that. Do I play the Osprey as well? Because it is another platform nest. It's basically free, that fish. I think about it, because I pay the fish cost and immediately get one back, which I could then use on the Cormorant to play that afterwards. So does give my opponent a fish, which is maybe something to consider. But yeah, definitely sort of toying with this idea. And Nectar's not a problem. You know, I don't think at this point in the game I'm even considering Nectar, because you know I've got one spent in the grasslands, one spent in the wetlands. My opponent is just so far ahead that even if I picked up maybe 2 Nectar in the next round and use that to play one of these birds, I don't think it's going to make any difference for the Nectar scoring. So I'll quite happily take the food that I know I'm going to need and work with that. So yeah, I think it's planned out here as well to be able to play 3 birds in that final round. Looking at the end of round goal, could be some points on the cards there. You know, I look at my opponent, they've got a strong grasslands engine. I think they want to be running that and maybe not playing too many birds. So if I can plan this out so that I'm going to play the Osprey, I'm going to play the Planeswalker, and then play the Cormorant as 3 birds, I think that should at least tie the end of round goal, and probably gives me a good chance of winning it. So yeah, as strange as it might seem, going for something like the Osprey as well here, when there's end of round implications, that definitely is something to consider. So yeah, 5 turns left. I think playing those 3 birds, try and lay eggs as much as we can, but we might have to draw cards once just to obviously get the food from the Osprey and maybe some more points as well through those brown powers we've got. But I think it's looking pretty solid. I think this Wetland engine, as strange as it has been, you know, not any of the usual suspects in there, it has come together very nicely. So opponent does win. End of round goal, as I said, but yeah, not really one we could do too much about. So coming into the final round, not anything super duper amazing in the tray. I'm definitely interested to see how my opponent plays this, if they are just going to lay eggs a bunch or if they do have something to play. But we're going second, so we'll kind of keep an eye on that, monitor the situation, and just see so that maybe we can be in a good position to react to whatever they do. But I think, as I say, we have got a good plan going ourselves. So comes around to our turn. They play Peregrine Falcon. I'd have very much liked that for all the obvious reasons, but not going to matter too much for me that they've got it down. And yeah, we're looking at this Osprey, as I said. Feels like a good play here to be going for that. Clears out this black shoulder kite space, which I'm going to say again, very, very important. Just on the off chance, if I'm going to lay this again, I mean, it's already hit twice. It's already sort of exceeded my expectations. So why not give it a third chance to maybe get some more eggs for me when I do go and lay eggs later on in this game. But we'll see how that can do for now. As I say, Osprey going down. So it's not a bad little play. 5 points for that 1 food. It's going to get another egg from the Cormorant as well later on. So a pretty decent play. But as I said, does help for the end of round as well. So yeah, everything's coming together here. And barring anything unusual, you know, maybe a Benelli's Eagle or something wants to pop up from the deck, I think we've got our plan pretty much set in stone here. So the kind of glaring thing maybe looking back at this is that I haven't spent any nectar in the forest, but I think that's just kind of been the nature of this game. I've not really found any strong forest birds that I would look to play, even through all of my digging. And as I said, getting hold of nectar has been quite difficult. So we are going to miss out on a couple of points there, but you know, it's not the end of the world. I think we can certainly live through that. So we are going to draw. We're going to find Inca Dove here, which again, good synergy with what we are trying to do with all these platform nests and playing the cormorant as well. So maybe something I'll look at, but I still really want to play this Plains Wanderer instead. So yeah, we might still stick to that original plan. But everything else is working out well. So we did actually keep the fish on the noddy, and the reason for that was a little bit conservative. If I'd used the fish off the noddy and then the kookaburra missed, or at least didn't get any worms, I'd have been stuck and I wouldn't have been able to play everything I wanted. So did sacrifice a point just for safety reasons, just to really increase the chances being able to play everything. Fortunately, the kookaburra did give me a worm anyway, so we're going to have this extra fish left over, but as I say, just a little bit of a precaution there. And yeah, 3 turns left. We got all the food we need for the Plains Wanderer, for the cormorant, and as I say, hopefully clearing the final egg off that black-shouldered kite gives us a really solid chance of being able to get some more eggs. So yeah, plan is definitely coming together. My opponent not really showing too many signs of wanting to play birds. They have played one, of course, played the falcon. You kind of have to play something in the final round when you've got this end of round goal. But otherwise, they might just be laying eggs. I think when you've got a strong grasses like this, you know, you're getting 3 eggs, you've got the falcon, then you've got catbird copying a violet green swallow. You're getting plenty of tuck cards there. So looking good. We're going to go ahead and play our Plains Wanderer. What are we going to find? 5 bonus cards to look at, and a very nice platform builder. 7 points hiding away at the end there. So yeah, perfect synergy pretty much with everything we've been doing here. Works very well for Rheumatologist. I mean, you can quite plainly see almost all of these Rheumatologist birds we played also had that platform nest. And yeah, I'm just going to say it again, the Cormorant, such a good synergy there. So we're going to get lots of points from the bonus card. But we're going to get lots of points off that yellow game end power as well. So 97 points already, and we've hopefully still got some strong turns to come. So yeah, we are going to lay eggs on our next turn. And like I say, we're going to give Black Shoulder Kite one final opportunity to keep its impressive run going and maybe get some additional points there. Opponent, go for food. So they've had enough of laying eggs. They're maybe thinking they can get a tie on this end around. They maybe saw all that nectar as well and thought, let's go and grab it while I can. That doesn't change my plan at all. So we're going to lay eggs. Burrowing Owl, what can you do when we do come to you? Are you going to hit? You are not. But Black Shoulder Kite is going to make up for it and give us the goods. So 3 times we use that kite, 3 times it hit. So 9 eggs. Very strong. Very nice. Hit both our bonus cards. So I can have absolutely no complaints on the Black Shoulder Kite. Performed very strongly for me here today. And yeah, easy enough. Final turn is going to be coming up for us. And I'm assuming my opponent is going to play something. So they're going to finish on 2 birds played this round. And we're going to finish on 3. So yeah, going with the Osprey there. I think that was the right play in order to go and do that. So there we go. They found Great Horned Owl again. Maybe I would have liked that, but might have been a bit too expensive for us. We can go and play the Cormorant. We can clear out those kite egg spaces because we're going to need them for when we use that yellow power later on. So there we go. Win the end of round goal. Very nice. So we split them evenly across each round and come through to this yellow power 9. 9 eggs coming through. Very strong Cormorant activation at the end there. So as I said earlier, we're getting absolutely slapped around in this nectar, but it's not a problem. We did qualify at least for 2 of them, so we'll take our 4 points and walk away. I don't think I really could have done too much there with the strategy we were running. But here we go into the final score. So yeah, this hopefully should be a good score for us. I know we've got some good big point bird stats. We do edge it slightly there, but the bonus cards is where it all comes together. 19, very strong. As I said, end of round goals, we kind of split. We did have a lot of eggs, thanks to obviously the kite and the cormorant. 20 eggs in total, and plenty of tuck cards as well, thanks to our wetlands engine. So even though we're losing the nectar, we're going to hold on and we're going to win this game. 122 is the final score, up against 101. And yeah, I think that was just a really solid game. Everything came together nicely. It was a game of synergies. It was a game of synergies between the bonus card, even the brown powers, the kookaburra, the kite, and that yellow power as well, the cormorant. It all just came together so nicely. So yeah, even with a slightly uncertain starting hand, doing that digging, finding plenty of good Rheumatologist birds, definitely paid off here for me in this game. So yeah, as I said, very happy with how that one went. and it sends us through into the next round. So we're into the final 8, and yeah, things get very, very interesting from this point onwards. So hopefully you can stick around and watch some of those future games. But in the meantime, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in another video very, very soon.